Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of HPCritical Podcast where my friends and I talk all things gaming. I am Jarrell, and I am joined by Brandon.
Hi, guys. What's up?
Kelly.
Hey, everybody.
And Gabe.
Oonga boonga.
Okay.
It's not Halloween yet. We're October. I hear the courage nonsense.
Okay.
Also, I apologize for anyone listening to this. It's really late, so we just laugh at everything because it's so late. Because we start
The freaks come out at night.
Everything is just funny, and we have great conversations that you should hear, but you won't get to because they're not a part of the podcast. Kelly, what have you been playing lately?
Final Fantasy 14.
How's that been?
Amazing. I really like it. I'm grinding to get to Endwalker, obviously.
Girl, how far do you need to go?
I don't know. Well, I'm in Heavensward now, so that was a big step.
Big step up, huh?
Yeah. So I'm hoping.
Oh, I
soon.
get it. Heavensward.
Heaven.
I am willing to pay money to skip levels
Don't
if I have to.
Actually, you should do whatever makes you happy.
Oh, well, I mean, let's see where I am whenever the game comes out. I mean, I grind pretty much every night, so.
You have until November, no?
Yeah, the end of November. And I mean, I don't have to play it like right then either, so.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of grinding to do as well, so here I am talking shit. But
Yeah.
I too have lots of grinding. Brandon, what have you been playing?
Well, stream-wise, which viewers can catch on our official Twitch channel, twitch.tv/hpcritical, people can catch, what I've been playing is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, Fortune Street, and I actually did a launch stream for Deathloop when that came out. I will save full impressions for a future article coming out on HP but let me just say Deathloop was surprisingly good. I'm like very, very interested to keep playing that. There was a lot of cool stuff there. But yeah, and as off stream, just on my own free time, I've just been playing a lot of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I'm pretty freaking hooked on the game now. Yeah, there's that game has a lot of side missions, but it's all good. I usually play during like my break, like most of the side missions. I save like the main missions for them at home or whatever. It's a lot of stuff, but I'm having fun with it. That's me.
Honestly envious of anyone who can play their Switch at work on their work break. I can't concentrate enough to do it. I'm very envious. Gabe, what have you been playing?
I'm on my third playthrough of Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Nice.
Damn. Also Tales of Arise, game that came out last week. Pretty fun. Love the graphics, very beautiful. And Smash Bros. That's about it.
All right, well, I've been playing Tales of Arise. I was playing 12 minutes. I have lots of thoughts on that game, which I will share in an article later at hpcriticalgaming. I've also been playing Chris Tales, which I said I was going to review, but it's going very slow because I hate it, which you can also read on my review whenever I write it. It's just going to talk about how much I hate it. And then I've also been playing Tales of Arise, which has captured my fancy big new JRPG that I've been waiting for. Which I have lots of nice things to say about it, but I also have some very annoyed thoughts on it. Also, I have decided that waifu characters for me are like Edelgard and Shion, and I just love them so much. I just hope they just beat up everyone.
I can't wait for the to unlock the shield, the shield carrier woman, whatever. Because if you look in the cinematic,
she got a big
ass.
Oh,
she got a big booty. I'm saying there's the one scene where you're like, damn. And I also played her like when I played the demo for like 2 seconds, I was like, oh well, she looks cool, she looks like a tank, so I'm gonna play her. And she's just, I like her moveset. But yeah, that cinematic, it's like
speaking of tanks, I wish that we had a tank to play Final Fantasy 14 with, which I have been neglecting, unfortunately, but I will be coming back to very soon because I too have to work at getting Endwalker done. I'm sorry, Stormbringers done, so I can hop up to Endwalker. But for anyone watching, look what I got today that I am not doing an unboxing for because it's too much work. The official Final Fantasy 14 vinyl LP box, which has some really beautiful artwork from all 4 expansions. I got the vinyl player over here. I was listening to it earlier before I left my house to go do some naughty things. So Missed it.
They could have just said left my house to do some things.
Yeah, to run some errands. You had to be like doing naughty things.
Oh well, that's what I was doing. I was cheating
Oh,
on a test.
okay.
I cheated on a test, but you know what? It didn't matter because I didn't get the job anyway. I went and cheated on a test, and this is why you don't cheat, because I didn't get the job. So those are the naughty things I was doing.
Andrew, do we record these podcasts in 4K?
I didn't get caught though. Anyway, let's talk video game news for the week. It's gonna be a very short one, maybe not. We'll see what happens. So Marvel's Wolverine and Spider-Man 2 are confirmed as PS5 exclusives. Oh my god, who knew?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised for the Spider-Man one.
Why, you thought it was coming to PS4 as well?
I mean, yeah, to me it would have made sense because there's two Spider-Mans. The other two Spider-Mans are on PS4 as well. But
yeah.
Again, this just solidifies my thought that the second game is going to be such a big, massive co-op game that they're like, we need the power of the PS5. Sorry.
All right.
That's cool.
No. I mean, I have absolutely. I was like, oh, interesting. It's not coming to PS4, but I feel like we're starting that transition away from PS4 for PS5 specific titles anyway.
And I feel like, well, with Spider-Man 2 being a 2023 game, I feel like by that point they'll be ready to just like commit to like the PS5. I feel like by then we should be done. I think the whole cross-generation thing will go into 2022, probably all the way to the end of 2022. But by 2023, I think we'll be done with that. I think we'll have all in. What's up?
Didn't they say when the PS5 was coming out, like, oh, games are still going to come out on the PS4 for like the next 5 years or whatever?
Yeah, and I'm sure they will. It just won't be Spider-Man.
I guess. That's true.
Next to it. And then apparently not Final Fantasy 7 Part 2 either.
Yeah, but then you can still play Final Fantasy 14 on your PS4.
Y'all, you guys are
same though.
Yeah.
No,
you can still play the remake on your PS4. You just can't play Part 2. And this transition is happening. And it's gonna keep happening. But of course, there are gonna be games that are still coming out for everything.
Yeah, but you guys gotta also remember that when the companies say we're going to support past console for X amount of years, that's sometimes a lie, because like if new console does like super well, or
like the
if
PS5.
old console, or if old console does really bad, then they'll just drop it at the first hat. They'll say, oh yeah, no, don't worry, you guys. And then if it's like, for example, and this is a pretty extreme example, but the Wii U was like such a bad failure of a console in terms of sales, that even as a Nintendo's like, don't worry, we'll give you guys another year or two with the Wii U. They couldn't get out of that fast enough. As soon as the Switch was out, that was done. That was all finito. But anyway,
like, I don't feel like that's fair though, given this
that isn't fair,
because I know, especially for this one, because it's so hard to get a PS5 and so hard, well, I mean, I'm not going to bring up Xbox because they don't have any fucking exclusives, so let's ignore them. But like for the PS5, it's so hard to grab a PS5. I feel like already determining what games. I mean, again, like it was said before, obviously it has to do with the power of the system itself. There's certain things that the PS5 can do that the PS4 can't. But like, I don't know, it feels like a slap to the face to fans. It's like, oh, you can't get our expensive ass thing, but slap.
Are you upset at an inevitability?
No, because I have a PS5.
Oh, okay, because it just sounded like
I'm just fighting for the little guys, the guys that are out there that they've spent hours and hours trying to get PS5.
I feel
Walmart,
I feel you.
GameStop.
Hopefully they're going to be easier to get soon, but I mean, technology doesn't wait for all of us, right? Like it's going to happen no matter what. And what I will tell you is that I love playing Final Fantasy 14 on my PS5 because bitch, I load in before everybody else on their PCs. Okay, so fuck everybody who's
that reminds me of a meme that it's someone yelling. Oh no, it's someone it's Sato Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh laughing, his maniac laughing. It's like when a PC player who spent $3,000 on their build up loads in before someone with a $500 console.
I've seen that one. Yeah, I've seen that meme.
But now that you said that, it's like, is that true though?
Literally load in faster than people on their PCs, and I'm like, PS5 is awesome. Also, yeah, whatever. I don't care. To continue this, actually, I want to move on. So Epic and Apple have finally, come to the conclusion of that case has finally come around. And of course, as we all knew, Epic would have to pay Apple because they totally broke contract. Apple won 30% of damages of the $12,167,719 in revenue that Epic Games collected from users on Fortnite app on iOS. So they're about to get a nice little payout. Apple, as if they need it, is about to get a nice little payout. But also, where is it? Give me 1 second. Cat, stop it. Don't have your pets around, guys.
Not looking cool, Joker.
Also, what ended up happening is that while the court did not determine that Apple is a monopoly in the mobile market, it turns out that where is it? Apple can no longer force developers to use its payment system in apps, which is basically what they were doing before, which is why this whole thing started. So for my Apple fans, Apple's App Store can no longer force you to use their in-app store to make purchases. You can now route yourself to, for example, Fortnite's App Store, and Fortnite gets all the money directly, as per the judge's ruling. How do you guys feel about that?
I think it's pretty sick that neither side fully won. Like Epic can, because they broke their contract, so now and especially after the stirring the pot during the entirety of the trial period, will probably more than likely not get their game, or Fortnite specifically, back on the iOS platform. So they lost there because that's a big market for their big game. And then as far as Apple's concerned, ironically enough, the thing that Apple was like fighting for happened, but they're not going to reap the benefits out of it. It's going to be like some other games. So it's ironic because, there was a few press statements of like Epic saying that we're not just fighting for us, we're fighting for all of you. Well, y'all lost. I hope that latter part of the message that we're fighting for all of you still stands, because,
well,
they'll take advantage of it.
Technically they won because they knew they were going to lose when they broke contract on purpose.
Right.
Like they knew they were going to lose that. So like they were prepared to lose that money, and they have so much money, it doesn't matter. But
both of them have so
won.
much money, like in the long run, like neither of this is going to like destabilize them. We're not talking like the fall of any of them. It's just money that neither of them, or money or potential money that neither of them really wanted to lose. And that's kind of what happened here for both sides.
I feel like Epic was 100% ready to lose this money. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done this.
Yeah,
you can't.
Yeah, they were ready.
Like 100%.
But you still don't want it.
It does say here in the conclusion, quote, however, it does find that Apple's conduct is in enforcing anti-steering restrictions is anti-competitive. A remedy to eliminate those provisions is appropriate. So the judge did find that Apple only allowing you to purchase through Apple's App Store is anti-competitive, and there should be some type of solution. But it does not require the court to micromanage business operations. So they're not going to go in and be like, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, but they are asking Apple to find a way to remedy the solution, which is to allow people to purchase off of their App Store, which for them is a big deal because Apple's always touting, privacy is a big thing. And one of the reasons they didn't want to do this is because they don't want their customers routed to a separate website where things can go bad or someone can steal their information, and they don't want to offload sites and have you download things that aren't approved on the iOS App Store to be able to buy things from outside of Apple. Privacy was a big issue. Also, I'm sure they're losing money, right? Like if you're not buying things through the Apple Store, you're buying it somewhere else, they're not getting that revenue. So this is a big loss for them, as opposed to the amount of money that they won. Anyone else on that?
It's just funny that they say they do it for privacy, but they could just take less of the money and people wouldn't need to route it anywhere. You know what I mean? If they could just use their payment, that's why people don't want to use it. But I mean, I know that a couple of platforms like Fan House is like a pretty big winner in this case, just because they had to go through Apple in the app to take payments, and now they won't, but they were directing people to a site off the app. So hopefully now they'll be able to implement in-app purchases, but not directly
Apple.
through Apple.
Yeah.
So that might work out for a couple of sites. That one just came to mind because a lot of people are, making those accounts. But yeah, stuff like that will be the real winners there. Smaller companies that don't want to have to sacrifice 30% of their revenue.
That's so weird to me because like it's not just, and I'm gonna sound like I'm defending Apple here, and I think I kind of am just a little bit, but that's because it's not, and I think Apple's shit. Like I have Apple products, but I do think they have some shitty practices. Don't get me wrong. But it's not like Apple's the only person that's charging the 30%, right? Like PlayStation is charging 30%. Not only are they charging 30%, but they're charging extra money for crossplay. Like Xbox is also charging 30%. So it's like all of these other companies are also charging the same 30% flat rate fee, but you come after Apple because they have more, like they have a bigger audience. And I don't feel like that's okay. Not that they come after them because they have a bigger audience. I think it's kind of shit. Like I can only imagine if like I am, Apple, and I made this app store and I've curated it and I have this many people and like I've really put into how I want this to be, and I want you to go through my shit because like this is my shit, like it's my store, only to be told by a judge that that's anti-competitive and I have to change it now because these people are upset that I'm not allowing whatever they want on my store. But I also get the small developer part of like, if we want to put things on sale, like if we want to have a sale on Fortnite skins, we can't do it through Apple. So like the consumer is essentially gonna get a better deal if they go somewhere else, right? Like it's why we buy from Newegg and all these other places instead of from the direct companies, because we're looking for sales, we're looking for whatever. Y'all get the point. Gabe, do you want to add to this? Did you say nah?
Yeah, I said nah, my bad.
Oh no, that's fine. It's totally okay. So Battlefield 2024 was supposed to come out on what?
It got delayed.
Oh yeah, it was supposed to come out on October 24th.
Somewhere around there.
22nd.
22nd. Okay. It has now been delayed for a worldwide release on November 19th, 2021. They have a statement here that says building the next generation of Battlefield during a global pandemic has created unforeseen challenges for our development teams. Given the scale and scope of the game, we've had hoped our dreams would be back in our studios together as we move towards launch. With the ongoing conditions not allowing that to happen safely, and with all the hard work the teams are doing from home, we feel it is important to take the extra time to deliver on the vision of Battlefield 2042 for all our players. Oh my God, excuse me. So I heard, I don't know his name, I'm sorry, it's really late. I heard that there was a possibility that this was pushed back because they were making episodic like versions of the game or something, and some prominent person recently died and they were supposed to be featured in Battlefield. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I actually didn't hear about that.
Nope. Okay. Well, how do you feel about Battlefield being delayed? Maybe I'll bring it up later if I remember.
Sad, but I'm okay with it because I mean, if they said, our teams are still working on it from home, let's give them a little bit of time. I'm okay with that instead of, forcing them to come in to the building to work amid COVID and all that stuff. Still think it's going to be better than Call of Duty. Can't wait. Just gives me something else to play in November. I get to play it now along with Pokemon remakes.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because so I first off, let me preface by saying I 100% agree with Gabe. Like it's the delay can only help the game, and it's good for the workers, give them time to polish up everything. It's good. But yeah, it's coming out the same day as Pokemon the Pokemon Diamond Pearl remakes, which means for me I went from I might get it to I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get both on the same day.
Bro, I just want to fly around and shoot people in the middle of a tornado. Like that's literally all I want.
Yeah, have fun. I'll just catch Pokemon.
I think I'm gonna be playing that instead of Pokemon. Wow, crazy! I know, I love Pokemon. I know it's wild. Do you know what else is wild, guys?
What else is wild?
The Anti-Defamation League is warning that in-game harassment targeting women, Black players, and Asian American players has increased over the last year. Who knew? This warning comes from a survey organized in partnership with analytic firm Newzoo, which spoke to players of different backgrounds to try and quantify the state of online harassment in video games. It's the third year that the ADL has conducted the survey, and its 2021 results include data that's relevant for developers working in online games. Women surveyed by the ADL report an 8% increase in harassment experienced while playing games, jumping from 41 to 49% of surveyed players. Black players saw an 11% increase in harassment, with 31 to 42% of respondents reporting racist incidents. And finally, an additional 12% of Asian American players reported experiencing online harassment, jumping from 26% in 2020 to 38% in 2021. That's pretty self-explanatory. Anybody want to talk about that one? By the way, that article is from gamedeveloper.com.
I'm surprised that it went up from 2020 because I thought all the time that people had in 2020, more people would be online and therefore like more people would be experiencing things like this. But like for people to be like going back to work and stuff, and for I guess maybe they're pissed off because they're going back to work. So they're like, fucking women, they did this. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm surprised that it went up because people aren't as bored anymore. But then again, they're more pissed because, you know, a lot of people have been asked to go back to work. So I can see that. Doesn't surprise me.
Wow.
You know what game I don't get harassed in? Final Fantasy 14. Because no one can tell I'm a woman because everyone wants to play a sexy cat girl.
Facts.
You know?
Everyone who plays that game is LGBT or like, okay, 90% of the people that play that game are LGBT, and then everyone else just doesn't care. So it's great. Like, you never know who anyone ever really is, but we're all really nice. That's fine.
Yeah.
Unless you're gay and then someone's randomly mean to you.
I to this day I still don't understand why they did that to me.
I don't either because I'm only.
Were you wait, what happened?
I was doing like you could see that I was doing like a hunting log because I was going from animal group to animal group, and this douchebag just kept like he kept coming in at the last second and taking the kills, and it wasn't counting them as my kills.
Did you hit them first? Because if you hit them,
yeah,
first,
but I don't know at this point because I don't remember such a long time ago. But like and he kept doing it. Like he was following me around on purpose, taking the kills.
So if you hit it first, it counts for you.
You
so
get
what might have been
100%
happening
is
that he was attempting to help you out, because as long as you hit it first, he can kill it and you would get 100% of the credit.
So why wouldn't he wait for me to actually hit it? Because I wasn't it wasn't showing up in the hunting logs.
But you
like
just
it wasn't
said
getting
that
it to me.
You would hit it and then he would come after and kill it.
I don't remember.
So,
all I know is he took my kills.
Confused?
Yeah, he might have confused it the other way around. Maybe that he got the guy hit it first.
Sounds like you are confused and this person was trying to help you, maybe.
Anyway, Final Fantasy 14, not a good game. It's a bad game. I'm kidding.
Okay. So Rockstar Games has presented Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online for PS5 during last week's PlayStation Showcase. Fans across the internet made it clear they're ready to move on from the 8-year-old game. That's from IGN. IGN asks, how do you feel? So guys, how do you feel?
For the love of God, move on from the fucking game.
Okay, so here's my position on it, because speaking as someone that actually does want to get it on PS5, I don't think it needed to be on. I get it was delayed, but it didn't need to be on a PlayStation Present Showcase. Honestly, like I get where the feeling is coming from, because you know it's one thing to show this game that's out already. It's another thing to keep showing this game that's supposed to be like I don't even know if remaster is the right term. It's kind of a re-release that's taking advantage of like the PS5 features. I guess there's some remaster features, but they're not even calling it a remaster. It's crazy that this was like one of the things that are like times like, hey, when you get your new PS5, you'll be able to enjoy one of your favorite games from the last generation and the generation before that on your new system. And then that got delayed to the end of this year. And then it got delayed again now to March 2022. It's like, okay, if you're putting in some new stuff, that's great, but like, it doesn't need to be in the showcase. I get all that to say, I get it. People are tired of hearing about it. This game it should just come out when it's ready. It's just like, yeah, I don't want to hear about it anymore. I just want to buy it when it comes out.
Bruh, it is 8 years old. They're adding nothing. Like literally all they're doing is what all the other games have done, which is we're gonna upgrade it and make it look graphically better and perform a little bit better on PS5. That's legit it. They're not adding anything.
You're absolutely right. So then why is it coming out in March 2022? And that's I think where the frustration is coming from.
Because they're working
No,
on
I think the
making it
frustration
work
is
for
coming
PS5.
from that they
We
keep
don't want
talking
this
about
anymore. Stop it.
Okay, yes, but that too. But what I
Like-
that
like-
and what I said too.
Like as a Skyrim player, I know people are gonna be like, you have no grounds to complain. Bullshit. Because every time a new Skyrim comes out, they do add something to it. With the next one coming out, actually this year, November 11th.
Yeah.
But this is gonna be the addition is gonna be a bunch of Skyrim creation club things, which you usually have to pay for. And I guess the big thing is fishing. I guess people really want to fish in Skyrim. I don't know. But like with a game like Grand Theft Auto 5 that, came out on the PS5 and then it came out on the PS3 and then from PS3 to PS4, it got like, it got the graphic overhaul and then like I actually don't think they added much into it. The online stayed the same.
No. Yeah.
And like their last big online update was, I'll say this year, because they decreased loading times like
Sure.
all across everything, but like that's about it. But like we don't care about Grand Theft Auto 5 anymore. Like Elder Scroll players, we know we're getting Elder Scroll 6. What's another game that people have been waiting for forever? Metroid. We're even getting Metroid news first before Grand Theft Auto 6 news, which you wouldn't think would happen, but here we
Sure.
are. So it's like we get it. You want to keep, extending the life of Grand Theft Auto 5, but we need to know about Grand Theft Auto 6 because all people know about Grand Theft Auto 6 is that, what did they say? Oh, it is a very long ways away.
Okay.
Especially now with
what
them updating
did you
5.
say they were bringing to Skyrim? Because it sounded like nothing.
It's a creation. So there's mods, but then there's a creation club like section of it, which I guess is more immersive mods or whatever. I have to look into it because I never paid attention to it.
So I gotta buy a whole nother version of the game to get immersive mods, but there are already mods in the game.
Yes and no.
Okay. Well,
Hold on. Let's
sounds as bad as Grand Theft Auto.
Let's think.
When was it released?
What,
The
Skyrim?
original?
Uh-huh.
November 11th, 2011.
How many years is that?
That's 10.
Grand Theft Auto's right behind.
It's right
Yeah,
behind.
but okay, but the difference, but my point is the difference is that every time a new Skyrim game comes out, or sorry, not new Skyrim game, every time Skyrim gets re-released, every time Skyrim gets re-released, something new comes with it. The first version, we got the first version. The second version, it was on PS4 and the whatever Xbox series was for that one, and they were finally able to access mods, regularly without having to jailbreak your system. And then the Switch Skyrim, but that one's just a handheld Skyrim. Yeah. And now this one,
which only adds a little bit, which is essentially what Grand Theft Auto 5 is doing.
Apparently the Creation Club mods
is a big deal.
Yeah, I have to look into it though, because again, the only thing I saw people focusing on was the concept of fishing, because apparently if you can fish in your game, it's a really good game. So
people love fishing in their RPGs.
You can't switch fit a lot.
Bro, you could not.
Skyrim
you know how you
2021.
You know how you catch fish in Skyrim? You gotta go into the water and pray that a fish swims across your face.
So
I'm not even kidding.
Couldn't fish in Skyrim until 2021.
Yeah. Well, until whatever they did in the creation, they added to the Creation Club mod, but I actually don't know anyone who would pay for the Creation Club mods.
That's wild. I just saw someone complaining that you can't fish in Tales of Arise until like the 10-hour mark. How about not fishing for years?
For 10 years. What is 10 years to 10 hours?
Perspective. It's all about perspective.
You know what game you can fish in though, and is being also re-released for the Switch this year? The game of the year, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Sorry.
That's already is that out on Switch already?
No, they're releasing it later this year. It's a special edition, whatever.
I could have sworn it was already out. Okay, cool.
Anyway, moving on. So this I found very interesting, so I wanted you guys to take on it. Deathloop.
Yes,
an article
Deathloop.
at Axios.com by Stephen Totillo. titled Deathloop extends Microsoft's streak of well-reviewed games. Rave reviews for this week's time-traveling assassination game Deathloop officially make it a trend. Microsoft is finally on a streak of producing terrific games. Why it matters? Game quality has been an issue for Microsoft for years, while console rivals Nintendo and Sony have flexed their ability to repeatedly make Game of the Year contenders. The details. Deathloop follows August's March-praised Psychonauts 2 and 2020 Game of the Year candidate Microsoft Flight Simulator. All three are a result of Microsoft aggressively expanding its gaming operations. Deathloop comes from Arcane Lion, a subsidiary of Bethesda Softworks / ZeniMax Media, which Microsoft officially purchased this year for $7.5 billion. Psychonauts 2 came from Double Fine Productions, a team bought in 2019 amid a studio buying spree. 2020's Microsoft Flight Simulator, which was developed by third-party studio Asobo, saw Microsoft put more focus on PC gaming and successfully revive a neglected franchise. The game came to Xbox in July. There is a catch. Only one of these games is Xbox only, which prevents Microsoft from using the streak to immediately sell its gaming ecosystem. Psychonauts 2 released on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, honoring a multi-platform commitment made prior to the studio's purchase. Deathloop is weirdly only available on PS5 for a year, the result of a timed exclusivity deal between Bethesda and Sony that was struck before the Microsoft purchase. How it works, Deathloop puts players in control of a man named Colt Van, who wakes up on a beach and quickly discovers he's in a violent time loop. Not going to go over how the game works. If you don't know, go watch a video or watch Brandon stream it. The big picture. Microsoft's streak may be covered in asterisks, but it's real and it's meaningful to those who knew why Xbox had been selling itself based on its services, not its exclusive games. Microsoft's blockbuster franchise Halo and Gears of War had cooled in the past decade, and other Xbox productions failed to reach the quality levels of the best on PlayStation or Switch. In 2019, Xbox chief Phil Spencer acknowledged the company's struggles to make great games, blaming some of the problems on rigid production timetables that didn't give teams time to make spectacular releases. Microsoft's solution involved buying great studios that already existed outside of Xbox, fund their best ideas, and give everyone more time. What's next? The streak is likely to continue with November's Forza Horizon 5, the latest in a reliable, strong series. But all eyes should go to December's Halo Infinite, the work of an internal team that's had its up and downs, was given an extra year to make something terrific. That is Steven Totillo at Axios.com. I found that super interesting. I basically agree with everything he said. You know, this is Xbox producing games that are coming out that are much better quality now that they've purchased these studios, which is very interesting that they had to go. Wow, I don't want to say that actually. It's a very interesting thing, right? Like Deathloop is getting rave reviews. I know IGN gave it a 10. The average is between a 9, an 8, and a 10. I would say is the average on those review scores. But it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive from a now Microsoft-owned studio. So you know, if there is a sequel, does that mean it's going to be an Xbox exclusive sequel? Who fucking knows? But how do you guys feel about this article in general? Well, agree, disagree?
I do agree, but I do have a question before I give my thoughts. Since, like you said, as well as Stephen Totillo saying as well, that Deathloop was, Arcane and Sony had struck a deal to make that a PS5 exclusive before the Bethesda buyout was done. So with that said, how much input did, it's Arcane Studios, but I guess what I'm saying is like, how much of money did Microsoft fund into the production of Deathloop when it was originally a PS5 exclusive?
My assumption is they didn't.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming as well.
Because
so, yeah, no, I was, yeah. So then it's an interesting springboard because Deathloop is getting absolute rave reviews right now, and that for someone that doesn't really like follow this kind of stuff, I can see them looking at a headline like that and being like, what is it talking about? Is a string of Microsoft successes. This is a PS5 game. But when you, of course, look at the whole big picture, like how Bethesda in the future is going to be making like assumedly Xbox and PC games going forward, it makes sense. But I do have to wonder, it's technically an another success in their streak of games that they purchase. But I don't even know if I necessarily consider this a Microsoft. I don't consider it like necessarily Microsoft being the reason why why Deathloop is doing so well. I feel that's more on the shoulders of Arcane and Bethesda, you know, because again, I'm assuming it was made before like the Microsoft involvement, you know what I'm saying?
It was. But I mean, that's what the article says. It literally says that Microsoft bought these studios because they didn't have quality productions before. So what they did was bought these studios to create quality production games that now they can, you know, have and say under their own name, hey, these studios we're handing them money to produce the best types of games. And that whole article is about, you know, Sony and Nintendo have quality games, and now Xbox is able to push out games that are, you know, getting 10 ratings and Game of the Year conversations, things that they didn't have before. They're just not on Xbox currently.
Right. And I'll say this much before I go into kind of go back to that point, is that, you know, them making that purchase means that, you know, right now Deathloop is a PS5 exclusive, and it does take advantage of a lot of features like that.
It's on PC. It's not a PS5 exclusive. It's on PC.
It's a PS5 console exclusive.
Okay, correct. So that's the console.
Okay,
but you can still get it technically on Microsoft on PC. So
okay,
I just
so there you go.
Put that out there.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Actually, thank you for clarifying, because I did not know that. I thought that was coming later, but yeah. But what I was gonna say is that like it is going to be coming to it's a console exclusive until like, I think they said May of next year. So yeah, so after that point, it's almost certainly going to go on Xbox after that, which is perfectly fine. It should be on this multi-platform, especially if Microsoft spent that crazy money as well. But yeah, it is an interesting like trend of like games that are going forward. I just wonder that, because like you said, like the article said, that them buying these studios will let them fund more money into these games, so they can come out at a better quality, come out potentially sooner, but also foster like a good working environment for the games that are being developed here. I'm just wondering how much of that Microsoft had in the hands of Deathloop. It doesn't seem like they did. It just seems like the game just happened to come together on its own. It's just Microsoft would be, you know, for this particular game, benefiting from that when it eventually comes to their platforms as well.
I mean, that's what almost all these companies are doing.
Sure.
I think like you know these purchases benefit the developers because like Deathloop was going to get made as it is.
Sure.
PlayStation just happened to throw some money at them and got an exclusive deal for this game because they believed in what the game would be. And you know that can be said for anything on, you know, PlayStation, right? Like God of War is going to get made, right? Sony's just like, take money, make good games, and they're like, okay, that's what we do. Same thing with Nintendo, right? Pokemon Arceus, Game Freak is going to make that game, and Nintendo is going to be like, we're going to publish it because Pokemons are shit. So like, go make your game. So I don't think, no matter what, like I don't think I don't want to say that it's just Xbox not being involved. I feel like some companies like PlayStation have proven that they are more involved in the, you know, process of making sure that these people get what they need and the studios working together, etc. But all of them are kind of just like publishers more so than developers. So they're like, yeah, please go make good games so that we look good.
Yeah, for sure. And to answer the last question that you had posed, that I'll just answer real quick, is if a Deathloop 2 were to come out, would it be on Xbox exclusive? I'm kind of leaning on the or Xbox PC exclusive rather. I'm kind of leaning on to yes, honestly, because again, this was made exclusive during, you know, when Bethesda was kind of like free agents and such, and now it's a different conversation, especially with, you know, Deathloop more than likely going to be on Xbox by the end of 2022. So yeah, I you know, it's unfortunate for PlayStation players, but I just think that's how it's going to go. Microsoft did fund the money to get these games, so they're just not going to just be all willy-nilly. It's not impossible. I'm not going to say it's impossible. Deathloop 2 could very well get on PS5 as well. I'm just saying it's not as likely as the first one is all I'm saying.
Man, it's like Final Fantasy, right? Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy, that's it. 7 remake. Like all of these games are lots of money being thrown at Square Enix to be like, hey, PlayStation said don't share this anywhere, and they're like, this money means we can make the game we want, we won't share this anywhere. And so even though the timed exclusivity for Final Fantasy 7 remake was over, they put out a DLC and it was like, hey, let's extend this shit a little bit more, so you know we got the rights to this game. Is it eventually going to come on Xbox? For sure. at some point, right? Like at some point, it's not just going to be a PlayStation console exclusive. At some point, parts of it are going to be available on Xbox. Like how fucking long that's going to take depends on how much money gets thrown at them, I guess.
Yeah.
And how long it takes for them to develop for Xbox. I have no idea how hard developing is for Xbox Series X or S versus PS5 because I don't know. I know in the previous generations it was much harder to go between the two. Now I have absolutely no idea. So I don't know if they're just starting with base. Whatever. I don't care to continue. Gabriel
Only
Kelly
they had other exclusives that they could learn off of for Xbox.
What do you mean? Oh, can you elaborate?
It was just a joke because you're like you'll know how hard it is to make to develop for the Xbox Series X and S. And it's like, if only they had other exclusives to work off of.
Well, look, they don't even need exclusives. You could take a
It was a
game like Tales of
joke.
Arise. I know, but now I'm gonna not make it a joke because you could take a game like Tales of Arise. And I had a hard decision on whether to buy it on Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 because the frame rate on graphics mode on PS5 is trash. And the frame rate on graphics mode on Xbox Series X is perfectly fine. Which is
What was the title of this article again?
surprising based on Tales of Arise being developed by Ben and Namco. The title is Deathloop extends Microsoft's streak of well-reviewed games.
Okay. I don't agree with that title at all. I think it's very misleading, but after
That's what I was
everything
saying before,
because I don't think I 100% don't think it's fair to call Deathloop a Microsoft game because it was made and planned before the acquisition. Yes, the acquisition came out, the game got delayed a little bit, and there's 100% chance that was Microsoft being like, here's more money to make the game even better.
Ew, oh my god, are you okay? That was disgusting.
I tried coughing something out and it was like, I'm gonna get stuck in your throat. But yeah, I don't to call it to put it in a streak of Microsoft games. No, I don't. I think that's one like saying to Bethesda, "Fuck you, you're no longer your own studio," and then that's because that's what it sounds like to me. It's like, oh, Deathloop is a Microsoft game now, not a Bethesda game. It's a Microsoft game. But yeah, I just think that title was a little misleading. But after everything you and Brandon said, it's like I can kind of see it makes a lot of sense.
I am thoroughly confused. Kelly, what do you think?
I don't really care. I mean, I think that it's on PC, so it technically if it was just a PS5 exclusive, I would say okay, Microsoft has nothing here. But like I said, if it is on PC, like I'm like, okay, you could probably call it a Microsoft game. I mean, they own the studio. It came out on at least, computers that run Microsoft. I don't know. I mean, I think Microsoft over the years, they've had really good titles. Like their main ones like Halo, like they've always been good, and they're like sometimes console sellers. I mean, I never bought a console because of it, but like I don't know, this time they didn't have that, so they need like these little wins of these like games. But I don't think that Deathloop is like a console seller, and in the future I don't really think they would keep it exclusive to Xbox, because why not take PS5 people's money? Like they don't really have. I mean, if I think of exclusives, like I don't see them having a lot. Maybe Grounded is an exclusive, but that was literally made by Xbox Game Studios. Like I don't see them having a lot of other exclusives unless it's like a franchise that's been around forever, like Halo. That's always going to be an exclusive.
But don't you think that's a reason to make it exclusive?
Make what exclusive? Deathloop?
Yeah.
So
like so for example, imagine this game getting 9s and 10s, being considered in a game of the year conversation, and then you want to sell your console and you own that studio. One of the best ways is to be like, okay guys, make Deathloop 2. We're going to make it an Xbox exclusive. We're going to remind everyone how awesome this game is while they play it on Xbox now, because it's now available on Xbox. And anyone who wants that sequel is going to have to, if you don't already have an Xbox, go buy a fucking Xbox, a cheap one, so that you can play the sequel to the game you played on PS5 that you thought was great.
I don't know if it would sell consoles for real, but that's just me. I haven't played it. I'm not probably going to. I've watched it. It looks all right. Definitely looks interesting. But I just don't know if it'd be something to make me spend $500 to play this game. Other people might be different. Maybe it's good. But if you already have a PS5, I guess if the only way to get it was to get an Xbox, but I just don't see that happening. And literally, number 1 just came out. We're talking about like number 2. When's that? 10 years from now?
I mean, it's not even approved. Like, we don't even know if it's a thing.
Right.
I just mean like, not just that single game, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you look at Psychonauts, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Psychonauts 2, which did really well, Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is apparently also amazing, like 10 out of 10. And then you've got Deathloop. You have now games being produced by these studios that Microsoft have purchased that are going to make people, I think, consider or reconsider the purchase of an Xbox. It's not just, I don't think it's just like one game. Obviously, it's not just Deathloop, because I don't think Deathloop is a console seller. But if you told me Deathloop and Psychonauts and Microsoft Simulator and blah blah blah, whatever else is coming out, I forgot that RPG that they're working on, and Halo and a new Gears and Forza, I'd be like, okay, I can see some potential in what's happening. And if those are exclusive, that might be a reason to purchase. Although I didn't play any of these, so it doesn't matter to me either.
I have no stake here. I don't know.
I do have both. And I almost bought Tales of Arise on the Xbox because of that graphics frame rate issue that the PlayStation 5 has. But I didn't, because I'm a sucker for playing JRPGs on the PlayStation. It's stupid. I know. Any last comments?
I've said my piece on this subject.
I mean, I have a computer. They can make anything they want exclusive once they get my hands on it. I'm not gonna buy their stupid console.
Yeah.
Like, so like to me, I feel like Xbox at some point is going to just outwardly show we've given up on trying to make console buyers, because it's going to come on PC. Like Elder Scrolls, I saw an article earlier this week. It was like Elder Scrolls 6. Oh, it's one of those clickbait ones, those rumor ones. It's like, oh, bad news for Elder Scrolls fans. Elder Scrolls 6 is rumored to be an Xbox. It's going to be an Xbox exclusive. And I'm like, that's cool. I have a PlayStation. I mean, I have a PC. I will literally just hop onto my PC and buy the game there. I'm not getting an Xbox. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not pointing any fingers here, but I also feel like a lot of game journalism tries to make it seem like if the Xbox doesn't start doing better, then Microsoft is over for. They have their PC. And as damn, dude, what the fuck is in my throat? What?
Did you mean done for?
What did I say?
He said over for.
Done for, over for, whatever. The end of the line.
Okay.
And like I don't know. I feel like, again,
what sites
buying
are you
PCs.
reading?
What?
Those clickbait articles.
Yeah,
really
it's usually like CBR and Screen Rant and all those. I honestly put out a tweet like 3 months ago. I was like, I don't understand why I still follow these articles. And I think it's just I read them just so I can disagree with them, because they say a lot of dumb shit. No offense to any of if any of you listeners or watchers are from there, but a lot of your articles in your list are very questionable. But yeah, and it
never come on the podcast.
I mean, that's okay. Come on podcast, I'd probably make them cry. I'm sorry.
What's wrong with you?
A lot.
All right.
But yeah, like I don't know. I feel like a lot of I feel like Microsoft is the exclusive. They're no longer like gunning for exclusives. Obviously Halo.
They clearly are. They just bought a shit ton of studios.
When I mean that, I mean like, yeah, but I'm like their future games. Like I don't think they're gonna force Bethesda games, especially series like the Elder Scrolls, to be exclusive. Yeah, Starfield's gonna be exclusive, but that's a new title. That's a new line of
I hope
story.
they do.
No,
Hope
it's
they make them all
confirmed.
exclusive.
I mean, again, if they do, I have a PC. I'm still not gonna buy your Xbox. Like,
good. They get money either way.
They don't get as much money though. That's my thing. You're not getting as much money from someone. It's like, oh, Elder Scrolls 6 is exclusive. You're not gonna get that 500. Sorry, the 400. How much is it? It's $400.
Selling
500
Xboxes
Series X.
They are literally still selling Xboxes at a loss, so they don't care.
That's my point. It's literally my point.
So they weren't going to get the money either way, whether you bought it on.
Well, that's my
PC or Xbox.
point. My point. That's what I was saying about like, a lot of game journalists making it seem like the Xbox is like a do or die thing for Microsoft. It's not. Like, it's not. I don't know how else to put it. It's not.
I feels your fam. It's not. I hear you.
This man just said, "Feels your fam."
Is that not something that the kids say nowadays?
I mean, you would know, right? You're under 25.
Yeah, you're like 22.
I'm just one of
All
this
right, well,
podcast.
clearly this podcast is over. So thank you guys.
Is it?
It is.
All right.
Thank you guys for hanging out with me for another week. And talking some fun video game stuff. It's always a great time, Brandon, Kelly, and Gabe. And thank you, listeners, for continuing to listen every week. Give us wonderful reviews and retweets. And I didn't eat anything this week because I saw all the comments of me eating last week. So I will no longer be eating during podcasts. I've learned my lesson. I have all my teeth.
Like I didn't eat this week. Like I'm eating it all. Like at no point this week
you're
have I
starving
fucking
yourself.
just fasted. Go home from work
Are we on a hunger strike?
And just fast the entire week.
So, little tangent for anyone who didn't know, I posted a clip of the podcast last week and I tried to get Sterling in it because he was our guest. And then Gabe joined him. I just happened to be eating an Oreo at the time because I was really hungry. And the clip apparently made it look like I had no teeth because it was just all black and I was talking with things in my mouth. I was like, and it looked like I had no teeth. And of course, that was the clip that my dumbass decided to post. And one of the first tweets on that was capital letters, Joel, what happened to your teeth? Do you still have them or something like that?
Is that David?
I believe so. Yes. And no, I have them. They're still here. And I've learned my lesson. I will no longer be eating during podcasts because one, that is unprofessional and who does that? And two, whatever. Anyway,
Nabisco workers are on strike and you crossed the picket line, Jarrell.
and
What
I
the
shouldn't
fuck?
have been eating.
How dare you?
The Bisco's on strike now.
I think so,
on
yeah.
strike.
On the
Just
week
like the
they
past
released
3
the
months.
Pokemon
Yeah,
Oreos.
it's been so
you can't
long.
do this.
No, it's not even on this week. It is
Yeah, it's
literally
been like 3
months.
months.
But
Okay.
the good news is I didn't purchase the Oreos, right? So I didn't even help them.
You stole them. Good job.
Still,
I like that. I like that. Just go with it. Just go with it. Just go with it.
Just
go
steal
with
the steal the Pokemon Oreos.
Look like the Robin Hood. Look like a Robin
stole
Hood.
the Oreos.
There,
Yeah.
thank you.
The
Thank you.
Oreos.
I
He had to
stole
get
the
the he had to get that cute Snivy Oreo. He had to get that Lapras Oreo.
Oh, did you
for
get
me.
those? You got those Halloween ones though? Those shits are good.
It was actually.
It was. I saw the orange cream. I was like, Jarrell knows what's up.
Donald Trump cookie Oreos.
All right.
Listen.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night.
Bye.